Well, happy Saturday, guys. I am in chill mode, and I had to come and even though I got swelling in my face and I'm still in recuperation mode, I wanted to come in to talk to you about something that just kind of fell in my mind. So I want y'all to rock with your girl for a little bit. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow, share, whatever platform you're watching. Also, I want you guys to stop by my TikTok shop, get my new book called Date Well. We're going to also talk about that in a minute, so I'm going to post another video. So if y'all watch this one, go watch the next one, all right? So I think I told you I like, subscribe, follow, share, and all that stuff. Stop by my bookstore, check out my new music on my page, and that should be it. All right, now let's talk. I want to talk about how either you're dating, courting, relationship, whatever, how you decide to call it or frame it, how it is a mirror into what your marriage is going to look like. Okay, let's really dig into that because I want you to see exactly what you're getting before you say, I do. As you've heard me say before, that dating is for data. Whether you want to call it dating, courting, relationship, okay? Before you say I do, you getting data, okay? You're getting a picture through each phase what it's going to be like. So if you are dating someone or you guys are getting to know someone and they're condescending and sending and they're rude, and there's things you're noticing that are red flags before you even get to the place where you wanting to now start trying to date or court, you've already had a window to what it's going to be like, okay? So you need to exit because that is giving you a whole picture into what is to come. I remember this guy was being mean. Okay, he's trying to insult me. I was not insulted, and he said, "You are a serial dater." Okay, and it wasn't that I was a serial dater. I am a mother, and I had sons, 3 of them. I had not been married, and so who I was looking for was a man. Okay, I needed a man that realized he was coming to an already made family. So he's going to have to come in as a father figure. I wasn't trying to force him to be their father, but he was going to be standing in a very strong position as a father figure over 3 young boys. And for me, I'm looking not for you just to see what you like as a husband, but I'm also looking for what you're going to be like if I have kids. I'm looking at what you say. I'm listening to what you say. I'm looking at how you respond when you're around my kids. I'm looking at all of that because, and we're going to talk about that separately. I also do not introduce my kids to anyone that I don't think is going to stay, because just as bad as you want to mate, so do your children. They want a mother or a father if that's what's lacking in their home, because they see everybody else have it and they have a desire to see what that's like. So make sure that you think about that. You got to think about what I'm looking at is a picture of what life is going to be with you. And if it's dysfunctional now, run, because you're going to be stuck with that till the end if you don't hit divorce before. So I want you to start. That's why I always tell you guys, everything starts with you. You need to look at your dysfunctions. Today we were talking about in our attachment style, how safe love is predictable and it's healthy. And I was having a conversation with a young girl, and she said, I dumped this dude because he was boring, because he said I was cute and adorable. She's 18, so that makes sense. Also, attached upbringing, it makes sense that there's an addiction to chaos. That's all this person knows. And so you have to make sure that before you get in dating, make sure that you're healthy. That's what my book Date Well is about. It's about becoming a healthy person so that you can have a very healthy relationship. Because if you don't, your relationship's going to be a nightmare. Okay. And there's nothing worse than being with somebody. I always told people, death do us part for a long time. For me, sounded like bondage, because what if I don't like you? What if this person that you pretended to be is not who you are when I get you home? So it's important that you watching. Don't get caught in and because he buying me this and he did. I don't care about none of that. Because, well, there was one indiscretion with a woman. Okay. That was your window. That's letting you know that bruh ain't ready. Okay. His eyes. I'm gonna tell you something that one of my exes said, and I thought it was very profound. He said the problem that he had was, when he started trying to be, married, he had never tried to be in a monogamous relationship and understand the discipline that it takes to be with one woman. And so he's trying to work this out in the middle of a marriage, and that's hard, And so you need to be watching and be like, nah, because if you this careless now, with my heart, I can't put myself in a marriage where now I'm locked in where you just running around and I just say, well, fine, we'll be in an open marriage, even though that's not what you want. But to save your ego and yourself from being completely destroyed, you go along to get along because you didn't see it in the beginning. Okay, so look at the things. If they are evil and talking smart to you and condescending, I had a guy who, I really, really, from a kid, I really thought we were going to be married. But this man was condescending. He was evil. When he was talking, he was doing all kinds of stuff. And every time I'd look up, it would be, this dude kept getting married. And guess who wasn't under the veil? And one of my songs called Boy, I'm Over You. This man got married 3 times. And not one time was I under the veil. And God said, when are you going to realize that this man don't look at you as a wife? You're his fallback. You're comfortable. Now, even though it wasn't a sexual thing, because I wasn't giving it up, it was still, I was the fallback girl. And he never once looked at me as a wife. Now that the third marriage is all messed up, now you back at my door talking about the Lord said, right? And I'm like, I don't care what God you talking about, sir. Sir, that ain't my God. Because if you didn't see me as a wife all those other 3 times before you got married, don't look at me now because I don't want it. But guess what had to happen? I had to heal. I had to get rid of the magnet that kept me in that kind of dysfunctional pattern. I look for that. Even, it's important to me that I find someone that loves me. And somebody was like, you ain't never been married? No, I have not. It was important to me to make sure that whoever I bring in my home, I was either going to have children with or raise children with. He had to be a certain way. It was important to me. Not having my father in my life was hard. And what I grew up in was even harder. So for me, I was checking you all the way out because my kids' existence, was important to me. I didn't want them to grow up like I did. So choosing the man that fathered them was going to be important. So I got to the place where I was like, God, I'd rather wait till they're grown than risk getting a man that will come into our lives and destroy it. And that's jail time for me. Okay? I said it with my chest. That's jail time for your girl. Somebody mistreat my babies. Because I never want anybody to feel the way that I did. So I ran the risk of raising 3 sons on my own to make sure that I protected them as a mother should. Now, that doesn't mean I was a perfect mother because I wasn't. But that, their upbringing and their sanctuary at home was important to me. So there were men that I talked to, and that's where Estate was talked to. Because I needed to see what kind of man you were going to be as a father. And I need to see what kind of man you're going to be as a husband. And all of that can be told in your dating. So I want you to know it's a mirror. If he's yelling and screaming and carrying on and throwing fits, before you get married, don't you say I do. Because you're going to be running to him. I don't. It's going to be too late. I still don't. It's too late. Okay? Because now you got to try to break yourself mentally and emotionally away from someone that you've now allowed to get into your soul. Trust me, I've been there. Okay, so don't let none slide. Don't let none slide. There are some things that are orange lights that you can look at to see if it's something that's even worth being repaired. But run, because your dating is for data, courting, whatever you call it. It's for data. I'm getting data to find out if you are worth my I do. I'm going to tell you something else, ladies. You even need to know that before you give your body to someone. Are they worth even that? Now, I am proudly going on 14 years abstinent because I said to God, look, I'm done crying and hollering and carrying on. I'm going to wait for marriage. And if I don't ever get married, it would be so messed up. I'd rather wait than be miserable because that was the choice that I made. I realized that I was that important. My body was that important. My mind was that important. I'm an expensive woman. Best believe that. And so I had to act like that. I'm not standoffish and I'm not mean. I just learned that whatever happens before, that is your data to tell you what your relationship would look like. All right, guys.